Hi, and welcome to another C++ programming tutorial from Someone9031. And in this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you guys about function overloading in C++. So to understand what function overloading is, why we need it, and how to use it, first let's write out a very simple function that will triple a number that it takes as an argument, and then print that number onto the screen. So void triple, and then we'll take int number as the argument, and then cout number times 3 end line. So we have our very simple function here, and then in our main function I'm going to declare an int variable, call it num equals 10, and then I'll call triple, and then I'll pass in num. Okay, so run the program now. And now it says 30. So that's the output we want. 10 times 3 is 30. Now say we want to use this triple function for, say, another variable like double num1 equals 12.4. Just say that. Now what if we want to use this triple function for our double? Now our triple function accepts the argument as an int. So to pass in this double, we would have to change this to double. But now only double functions can be passed in, and an int can't be passed in anymore. So this is where function overloading comes in. Function overloading is a feature of C++ that allows you to use a function name for more than one function. So the same name for more than one function. So we can now make another void triple function, and it will now take double number. So cout number times 3. So the essence of the function is still the same. So use overloading when you want a function to do the same thing but for different types of variables. So now we could go triple, and then now, as you can see from this little box that has popped up, we now have two triple functions we can choose from. We can have void triple that takes double number, or we could have void triple that takes int number. So now, when we have an argument that we pass in, C++ will go through the list of functions and then find the one that matches the argument type that we have, or the number of arguments that we have. So it will find the function that best matches our type. And then now we can run it again. And now it says 30 and then 37.2, which is all very good. So this is what we want. And we can also overload it some more. We go void triple, and then we could have one for float, and then number times 3. We could have one for like long triple, long number, and then cout number times 3. So now we have 4 overloaded functions, and then when we call the function and pass in the argument, C++ will check the argument type and then find the overloaded function that best matches our argument type. So this function overloading thing seems very simple and very useful in many ways, because we can write a function overloaded for all the different data types, and then now the user doesn't have to worry about calling different functions. They just have to call the function, pass in the argument or arguments, and then C++ will automatically decide which of the overloaded functions to call. So it makes their life a lot easier, even if we have to do a bit more coding. But yeah, it doesn't really matter too much, because it makes it so much easier to use these functions, because otherwise we'd have to have something like triple int and then triple double as the names, and then you'd have to like know what data type was being passed in, and now it's really simple. But as you probably could have guessed, there are a set of rules for function overloading. You can't just randomly overload whatever you want. So each function in C++ has something known as the extended name or the function signature. And the extended name or signature comprises of the function name, which in this case is triple, and then the type of argument and the number of arguments, as well as the type for each of the arguments if you have more than one. So that is the function signature. And every overloaded function must have a different function signature. So they must have a different data type for the arguments, or a different number of arguments, or no arguments at all, something like that. Or a different name, but that means it's not overloading anymore, it's just a different function. So that means you can't overload just based on the return type. Like, you can't just have a function void triple for int, and then let's have another one, int triple, and it takes an int number as well. So now, in this time, we return the value. We return number times 3. Like that. But now, as you can see, we have an error here. Cannot overload functions distinguished by return type alone. And that's because when we come down here for int num, and we call this triple, now we have two functions that take int as an argument. Which one do we call? Because now we have two to choose from, and C++ just can't do that. So you can't overload functions just based on return type. It doesn't work. And yeah, don't even bother trying it because it doesn't work. You saw that error we had there. So yeah, you have to remember that. So what I'm trying to say here is you cannot overload a function based on just the return type. It has to have a different function signature than the other functions, which means different number of variables, different number of arguments, and different type, data type for the arguments. And so yeah, that's all I have to say about function overloading. If you like this tutorial, please subscribe, rate, and if you have any questions, comments, or any feedback, please feel free to leave it below in the comment section. And thanks for watching.